Greetings Commanders, welcome to a new video for the play of the season. The 4th season of the Red Alert Global League has come to an end and it has been a great success. We had many more players playing in 4 recruit divisions, 1 minion division and 1 master league, master division. And also, of course, we had the transition of power. Soscard has stepped down and Blackhand and Point One have taken over. They did a wonderful job in making the 4th season a good season. And I'd like to thank a couple more people. First off, Jazz. He is the silent force behind every open array tournament or league. He helps us with all the technical stuff. So thanks a lot, Jess. You're doing a great job. And also have to thank NoobMapMaker. He is not a tournament official, I believe, but he's been answering so many questions. He has written battlefield reports, which were fun to read, and he has been crunching all the aura replays, which gave us some insight in the maps that have been played, the stats for the players, etc. And also we have Corrode. He has been working really hard on the Red Alert Global League website. That's RAGL.org. The next season for the Red Alert Global League will be organized from there. So if you are thinking about joining the league, you'll have to sign up there, and you'll see all kinds of cool features, stats for all the players. You can view content there as well. So if you're considering about joining, which I really recommend because it's really fun, if you already play Open Array and you enjoy playing 1v1s, even when you suck at it, it's fun to play in a league. It adds that little bit of excitement, and each week you'll have a new opponent and you'll have to practice a little and then either get butchered or take your wins, and that altogether is a really fun experience. Takes a little bit of effort to email and find a date where you can play, but if you like competitive play, even when you're not so good, do sign up for the next Red Alert Global League season 5. I believe it will start in April. And also, if you like Tiberium Dawn, our fellow Open Array players who like Tiberium Dawn have started a league. So if you like Tiberium Dawn, go to the Discord. I believe they have their own separate Discord. Go to the Open Array Discord, ask around. People will be able to point you in the right direction for the TD Discord, and join their league as well, because what's more fun than to play a game you like competitively? I don't know, just do it. So without further ado, let us go to the nominations. Many have been nominated by NoobMapMaker, and some others by me, and some people also nominated other people's game. I didn't want to exclude any of the nominees, except 1 or 2, because I think it's just fun to get a highlight reel of all the games for the 4th season. Okay, let's go to the fun stuff. And action. The first one is Doomsday. He plays on the map Sidestep versus T. They both played in the Minion League, and Doomsday in purple, he goes for a quick Radar Dome, and T usually doesn't tech up that fast. He just likes to build a massive army and then at some point tech up. So Doomsday was nominated for his V2 play, and as you can see, he also brings in an MCV to base push his opponent. Now, as you all know, the V2s are more or less the counterpart of the artillery. They're just a little bit more agile, they can turn around quicker, and I think they're about the same move speed or maybe a little bit faster. But they're really good if you micro them well, they're really good. And Doomsday will show us how it's done in this nomination. He sees the V2s incoming and he decides to attack, but he's being met by a small army of infantry, and his little army is destroyed. Some nice V2 hits by Doomsday. Some flame towers pop up, but they immediately go down to the V2 shots. And again, T decides he needs to stop those V2s. Such V2 shots just diminish your army in no time. And it's very hard to counter this. I'd say T should have some air to do something about it. But he just built his radar dome, so he's not there yet. Down goes another flame tower. And this is, well, very bad for the morale if you're playing against this. Nice attack on the side. And T's army goes in. So by now T has little left to counter these V2s, and it's just a matter of cleaning up the base. Tesla comes up, but it has the time to just kill one infantry, and while reloading it was bombarded with V2s. And well, this game was very one-sided, but it's very one-sided because Doomsday showed some really good V2 micro. I think he lost just a couple of them, but they've destroyed entire armies of the V. Lots of men went down to the fire of them. Flame tower can hardly pump out one fireball before it goes down. So that was a nomination for Doomsday because his great use, his demonstration of how to use the V2s properly. Next one, it's the Siberian summer map, and Gatekeeper is playing versus Orb in green, and Orb sends in some grenadiers, 2 of them. But one of the rifle infantry spots the grenadier. But I guess that Gatekeeper was paying attention elsewhere, over here, because the rifle infantry didn't follow the grenadier, and actually I would have expected it to kill it, but apparently it crawled fast enough not to get killed. Maybe Orb was a little lucky. And Orb of course goes for the power plant. Classic move with the grenadiers. And he manages to kill the power, which is devastating blow on the master's level, as with low power your building time is increased, and of course you have to rebuild the power plant, and on master level it's basically game over, or at least you're gonna have a really difficult game. In FiveAces comments he says, uh-oh, I smell cheese. Well, I think I smell desperation because Gatekeeper knows the information I just told. So he knows that if he doesn't do something, Orb will outscale him soon, outmacro him, and eventually have a bigger army and just win. So Gatekeeper has to do something, and he decides to drive his MCV all the way over to Orb's base. Orb doesn't have that much, but I think that's because he invested a lot into his army, which is on the side of Gatekeeper. And I believe Orb doesn't even have an defensive structure ready. So he was not prepared for this, and he immediately knows what's up, because a pillbox near your base means your opponent has been base pushing you. Nice crushes with the harvesters, but there are some rocket infantry as well. They pick off 2 harvesters. Orb knows he has to attack the main. He has to clean up aisle over there as well, and he will do that successfully. There's no army left for Gatekeeper to stop Orb, but at the same time Gatekeeper is successfully pushing in the main of Orb. Tesla has been built, but it goes down, and there's no infantry or any units left to defend. Orb has to pack up his base as well, so currently there's a weird situation where Gatekeeper's main is being erased and Orb's main is about to get erased. But who will get out on top? this is a nomination for Gatekeeper, so I reckon that he will be successful. But let's see how that happens. The main of Gatekeeper is gone. And Orb sells off all his structures. His MCV is moving north, while Gatekeeper cleans up all the civilians. And indeed, now Gatekeeper is ahead. This nomination was called What Am I Watching? After Smitty's comment, he wondered, what the hell am I watching? Well, some successful desperation attempt by Gatekeeper is what you're watching. Light tank in front, tanking all the shots. Couple harvesters, but Gatekeeper has a strong momentum, strong army with all vetted units. And there's little left for Orb, and Orb knows it. I really like this map, Siberian Summer. It hasn't been played a lot, but I really like it because it can give long, complicated games. Down goes construction yard, and GG to Gatekeeper, who manages to overturn the game. Well, he had a really bad start. Okay, in the third nomination, it's Lucien. He plays versus Craig Christ, and it's Lucien in blue. Craig Christ plays in purple. And well, Craig Christ is doing really good during this game. He has expansions all over the place. So has Lucien, but not as strong expansions. But that's not really what this nomination is about. It was called "And to Dust Thou Shalt Return," which is of course a well-known verse from the Bible, and we will soon see who will return to dust. By now, Lucien has built his tech. He has the Iron Curtain, he has the tech center. Well, Craig Christ is not that far yet in tech, but he's a whole lot more army and a whole lot more map presence. Quite a strong counterattack by Lucien, but the main army comes back, and in no time there is not much left. Nice pick off of the Hind. You gotta make it worth it as much as possible. And the map is of course well-known map, Pit Fight, very popular, made by Kazoo. I believe Kazoo will be in Masters next season, because he is the hidden master this season. Congrats to him. So, devastating attack. There is a lot of defensive structures, but at the same time Craig Christ managed to destroy half of the expansion, half of the main expansion, and losing that expansion would be end of game. The artillery is pounding away on the advanced power plants, and Lucien has built a atomic bomb, atom bomb. Artillery was picked off, and well, to be honest, this game is already won for Craig Christ. So Lucien, he has to do something, and we see some light tanks harassing the power plants. And here is a massive army, some nice mechanics, really good use. And whenever I hear this sound from my opponent, I get a little bit demoralized, because you know those tanks that you've been attacking, that you hope to destroy soon, are getting repaired to full health again. And just 5 mechanics or so, they can heal your army. And well, but this nomination is about the demo truck. The demo truck you can see in the north of your screen. And I'm gonna switch to the view of Craig Christ. He can just see the demo truck, but I'm not sure if he had seen it, because if he had seen it he would have acted, but he hasn't acted. And let's just watch this demo truck. in goes the army, and all the infantry is destroyed in 1 second. It's vaporized to dust. They're meeting their makers. Yep, he went in face first into the demo truck. What a joy, what a joy. So, Lucien was nominated for his demo truck. Next one, FiveAces. He plays against Orb. And this is a game that basically showcases the perseverance of FiveAces. FiveAces is known for not giving up that easy, trying to make something of a game up until his very last chance. And right now, if you look at the War Factory, you'll see no bar displaying that nothing is built. You can see the construction yard, and you'll see a blue bar and a gray bar, which means a normal building is being built and a defensive structure is being built. And you can see it in the barracks, but not at the War Factory. So FiveAces forgets to build any harvesters, while at the same time he is teching up. And just now he started his harvester production. So FiveAces has a strategy where he wants to tech up, but he forgets to do one simple thing: build some harvesters to support the tech. And of course you cannot tech up if you don't have money. You can't build the expensive tech units. So that's the big mistake FiveAces made, and that sets him behind a lot. And before this we had some skirmishes between Orb in blue, and FiveAces. And Orb did really good there, if I'm correct. And he won some small battles, giving him an edge in early game. But of course also the forgetting to build harvesters. It's such a noob mistake FiveAces should not make. But it does give us a very interesting game, as he has to do something. He has to come up with a good plan or some good attacks. And well, as I said before, the voting for the nominations for this play of the season will take place on the website ragl.org, regularglobally.org. I'm gonna post a topic on the forum. Sign up to the website and cast your votes over there. Also, if you plan to join next season, you will have to sign up there, because that's where all the tables are at, results are shown, costs of games are being enlisted there. So go there. And okay, so we see Orb has set up his camp next to the main expansion of FiveAces. FiveAces was forced to move his MCV all the way in the northeast corner of the map, because he knows that he cannot harvest those fields as Orb is there. Just 2 artillery force Orb to pack up his bags and move the MCV. And Orb, frustrated by being shelled, decides to move in his army. Nice move by FiveAces. He uses his hinds and an artillery to destroy the construction yard, and immediately he sends in his MCV as well to support. And Orb does manage to kill the entire army, but at very high cost. He lost his entire army himself, and well, he lost the construction yard. So basically there's not much left over there except for some defensive structures. Still, not all hope is lost for Orb, as he had been doing so well in the early game. He is already mining his main expansion, and he has put FiveAces in an even more difficult position. Nice pick off from the Yaks. Well played. Orb has to reinforce his position. New MCV comes in. But slowly this game is equalizing, and that is not what you want against FiveAces. FiveAces transfers his harvesters, and now he is also mining from his main. he's mining in the northwest, and sorry, he's mining in his main expansion, northwest expansion, and in his main base, while Orb is only mining in his main expansion and his main base. So slowly but surely the game is overturning, and that's what FiveAces just gave this nomination. You know, sometimes I don't want to nominate him, but he just plays so nice, he makes games very interesting. His infantry blob is standing while being shelled by the artillery. One tank cannot do enough, and Orb just sends in his entire army, which of course is not a really good strategy. Not in the Master League, you'll lose. And well, it might be something psychological. I think I saw one of the spectators guessing that Orb might have been choking, which could possibly be true, as it's, well, you start all pumped up a game against FiveAces and you want to win it, and actually you have a very good early game, but if you then equalize, it's not really an equal game. You're psychologically you're behind. And well, here the scale is really tipping. MCV is destroyed, 2 flags, 1v2 as well, and not much is left. Orb has to sell off. So this nomination, I think it's almost done. FiveAces was nominated for overcoming his mistake. Well played. The next nomination is on the famous map Behind the Veil. An old map, but still very popular. This is, I believe, Lucien versus Craig Christ. So the same players who we just saw, but in reverse in their second game. And this time it's Craig Christ that is nominated. He knows, as you can see, Lucien has built a atom bomb, and it's in his main base next to the tech center, and it's got 5-6 minutes on the clock, and Craig Christ knows he has to do something about it. Craig Christ, well, is doing pretty good. Quite a battle over there as well, but Craig Christ is in the main. His forces, well, are destroying stuff here and there. Could have been more active. I believe this was when the new changes in stance had just been there, and it was, people had to get used to it a lot. Down goes the tech center, and Lucien just now discovers that something is up in his main base. But Craig Christ doesn't push through enough. He decides to retreat. I don't know why. He could have done so much more damage. And this, well, this is a great battle for Craig Christ. You can tell Lucien is losing his units all over the place, while Craig Christ isn't losing that much. But he should have pushed through when he had the presence, and he didn't. So yeah, the atomic bomb is still there, and Craig Christ has to do something about it. And he has to do something about it, because if you look on the minimap, you can see the map is quite evenly divided. And well, Lucien is a little behind. His game is not as good as Craig Christ, but an atom bomb could overturn that disadvantage, that could overturn the game. So he has to do something about the atom bomb, and Craig Christ has a Tanya in the Ranger that's moving into the base. The artillery, however, auto-targets it, so Lucien does know something is up. Tanya is out. She kills a whole lot of units, but she gets killed herself, and unfortunately she's not able to destroy the atom bomb. But a very nice try, and Craig Christ is nominated because he just keeps on trying in various ways. Another Tanya, but she gets destroyed right away. A nice attack by Lucien, and you can tell that one of those blue infantry is a spy. I just switched the view of Lucien and he didn't spot it. The spy went into the advanced power plant, shutting down the power, which gives the Heinz the opportunity to go in, and he goes for the atom bomb. The atom bomb is destroyed. Yep, and up goes the power. Many Heinz go down, taking a war factory with them, but it's 3 strikes that take it to destroy the atom bomb. Very nice play by Craig Christ, well done. He didn't win the game, but picking off the atom bomb like that is very nice. Next nomination is Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper versus FiveAces, and this is one of the more not so spectacular nominations, but I really liked it. It's on a map, what's this map? Nuclear Winter? Yeah, Nuclear Winter. And in the early game there's always the battle for the oil, and winning those oils just really gives you an edge. It's not gonna mean an auto win. Okay, so I have zoomed in, and as you can see, Gatekeeper in red, his infantry was destroyed. And there is Gatekeeper's engineer and an extra rifle infantry. And I switch to Gatekeeper's view so you can see that he cannot see FiveAces infantry, but he force fires on the exact spot that he remembered where FiveAces infantry was standing, and because of that he manages to kill the only infantry guarding the oil, and he can capture it if FiveAces infantry doesn't kill the engineer, and it doesn't. Very nice capture. It was captured because of the good micro, and so it's not very spectacular, but it was well deserved. Very good play by Gatekeeper, and it really shows how he can turn a game in his favor by using small little tricks. Well done. Fight. The nomination, however, is for FiveAces again. In this game, Smitty took an early lead by being very aggressive, pushed away FiveAces from his natural expansion, giving FiveAces a really awkward start. But well, if you look at the timer, this game has already been going on for 30 minutes, because it was a game where Smitty just kept on enforcing his position, accumulating wealth, while FiveAces tried to push Smitty back. And this nomination is called Amazing Mic Micro, because from the 30-minute mark, FiveAces had 2 mix that did great work for him. They have killed so many units, and this is basically a montage of many of those attacks. And well, if you guys don't know Smitty, then you must have been living under a rock. But Smitty is currently in charge of the playtest changes. Every now and then he has this new version of a bunch of maps where some changes have been made to, and they are food for discussion. And basically Smitty tries to lead us a little bit in this process. So very valuable and great work. And in this game, I think he could have won earlier. He may have been playing a bit on the safe side. But well, in our previous game we saw Orb losing after he got an advantage. So this might be the best way to actually win a point. And the map is called Pit Fight, very popular map as well. It's made by Kazoo, and Kazoo is the hidden master of this year, of this season. And if you don't know what that is, in the Recruit League, the Recruit winners will play a small competition, and they will also play against a master and a minion player. And if you win all of them, you'll immediately promote to the master division. And Kazoo has managed to do that. So next season, he was a recruit player this season, but he will be a master player in the next season. So, and if you well, let's get back to the game. FiveAces has the two mix which are circling. There's a pretty strong attack by Smitty on the ore patch. The Iron Curtain flamethrower stopped them, halted them for a little while. And there are the mix. They take off one of the mammoth tanks, and that, well, stopped the attack for a little. And this is a showcase of how good FiveAces micro is. He even attacks the flag trucks with his hinds. The flag trucks are a hard counter, but with strong micro, it's very hard to pick off those hinds. And one by one, they are getting picked off. And there goes the V2. And by now those mix have been feathered up, both of them, so their missiles are stronger, and they even became a little bit faster. So that makes them even more agile and more fun for FiveAces to use. This has been a very long game, which basically had a front in the center. If you look at the minimap, you can see where the orange army is, and you can see where the bluish army is. And it was like that for almost the entirety of the game. And so it wasn't really dynamic, it was basically very static. But still, it was so tense to watch. I really had sweaty palms. I felt stressful just watching it. Everywhere units were being microed, expansions were made, small offenses were tried, super weapons were being used to stop attacks. It was a really tense game. Very well played by both of them. And again, the mix, find a victim, and MCV. Fetting up those mixes is really difficult. The system to fed up units is done by calculating by how often the cost of construction they have destroyed. So if something costs $10 to construct, and they destroy like something $20, then they get the first fed, and if they destroy a multiple of that, they'll get another fed, etc. But since MIGs are so expensive, they have to destroy thousands, tens of thousands in units to actually get feathered up. Over there we saw a V2 getting repaired together with the MiG. Tiny bug. And that's, well, of course, unit preservation is super important if you want to get MiGs that are feathered up like this, ranked up like this, because if you don't, you'll lose them. And again, a flag truck killed. APCs, MCVs, harvesters, everything goes down against these MiGs, and of course they won't win the game for FiveAces, but so they gained so much value for him, and has costed Smitty so much that well, without him this game would have been over already. Yeah, if you get the time, check out this game in its entirety, because it was very spectacular. And it's just great to see them picking off units, being repaired, and in they go again. And looking for some new victims. just a couple shots and the Tesla is almost down. Here goes the Tesla. Some more juicy victims, the yaks lying on their airfields. And by now they even outrun the SAM-site missiles. Oh, and down goes one of the MiGs. The other MiG is probably mourning for losing his mate. But he keeps on going, such a devotion. And well, as said, during this game Smitty had the upper hand all the time. He had much stronger, much more money. In tech he was ahead for long parts of the game. And he basically slowly destroyed his opponent. So, on to the next video.